Hey y'all, Noah. Everyone who reads it must converse is the channel. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. That's what I'm talking about. All that good stuff, right? Man, what a freaking week. I'm just checking out the sound. You guys tell me how I'm sounding. Michael and Matched is here. Hey, brother. Nice to see you. Teeny Tiny, my member, is in the house. Nice to see you. Awesome. And Conrob. Hey, happy Friday, brother. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to do some really beautiful books tonight. We're going to talk about some crazy books and a brilliant book. I mean, just what I've been reading, it does sound pretty good, right? Everything's sounding right. Great. Okay. So, I've been reading The Seven Madmen. Roberto Arlt, he's a Argentinian writer. The Flamethrowers and The Seven Madmen is two parts of one book, never before compiled in a single volume. This is coronasamas.press. Finally did it. I'll go ahead and show one of my hauls here because I did pick up an NYRB edition of The Seven Madmen. This is just the first part of this one here, right? It's brilliant. It's really stunning what it does, and I'm happy that more people are gonna know what it is now that it's in a full volume. But let's talk about it a little bit. There are some people, because there is an NYRB paperback, and it has been published before, just The Seven Madmen, the first part of this book. We're going to show a lot of NYRB tonight, but as far as the current reads this week, maybe we'll get to that first, just because I have the mountain of NYRBs behind me, right? I hope everybody's been doing good. Looks good too. All right. So, The Seven Madmen strikes me. It's wonderful, and strikes me kind of like Fight Club. Okay, not like just a bunch of guys fighting or something like this, but with that, Palahniuk with Fight Club had his finger on the pulse of a feeling in the popular culture late 90s, early 2000s, middle-aged men in America, right? And so it lent a certain power to his work, and it was able to push that kind of thing even farther and just kind of do what Chuck does with it, right? So Roberto Arlt kind of has his, you get a feeling that you're glimpsing an existential crisis. It is an existential crisis for our main character, that's for sure. Erdosian is his name. And it's a crisis that is prevalent in the society. And he meets up with this kind of anarchy, an anarchic group, a secret society, a conspiracy, right? And they're all just completely insane. And you start seeing that Erdosian's not the only one here that may be dealing with this affliction, right? And it is about, the kind of Project Mayhem side of Fight Club is present in The Seven Madmen, because it's kind of a rejection of the society and a willingness and a desire even to tear it down, completely tear it down, to start something new, right? And it's really a revelation. It's amazing to experience this kind of thing in another culture, because like I said, this is 1920s, early 1900s Argentina. That's when this is written about. Um, very, very different than 20th century, New York, Manhattan or something, right? But these kind of parallels exist. I can't wait to see where it goes. It is really dark and kind of funny in its absurdity. When it comes down to it, it's a story of despair, but it's so over the top, dramatic, melodramatic, and our boy Adosian is such a loose cannon inside of himself. He's constantly hitting one way and another, back and forth kind of thing. He is unable to sit still. He's constantly moving. It's like he doesn't sleep even. Andy, 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 Andy Finna. First time I've seen you here. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. Says that he just got finished with Pedro Páramo, Juan Rolfo. That's an amazing book. What an amazing book. Hey, Christy Louise, Dostoevsky and Spaces in the House. Yeah, NYRBs are so beautiful. They're just great, huh? I got rid of some of my NYRBs. Why would you ever do such a thing, Clayton? If you get rid of them, you get rid of them over this way, brother. Paulie, happy Friday. Yep. So when it's like a place where all there is despair, and things are going so bad and negative for our main character, and because of his own doings, right? It's not just like blaming the society. He's a complete wretch, when it's a complete breakdown and there's nowhere to go, this fantasy, hallucinatory element creeps in, is all through it. It's short chapters and therefore kind of choppy, but it is chronological, and it doesn't jump around in setting, except for that Erdosian is always moving. And like I said, there's an unspoken kind of fear of sitting still and being in one place. The one chapter where he did sit still and was alone is called Layers of Darkness. And it's brilliant. But it's an early chapter. And in that chapter, he just goes through levels and levels of complete shutting off from the world. And then goes right back to it. And also has these, like I say, elements of, in the despair and in this darkness, there's elements of fantasy. He allows himself to dream and wish that maybe the maybe while he's walking down the street or something, that a rich old maid will see him and take pity on him, and then pick him up and take him home and supply whatever he needs, and take care of him for the long haul kind of thing. It's utterly ridiculous. And when you're reading it, you're like, "What? Wait a second. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you ever think that somebody, you can't even spend money on some clothes or some pants?" And he had a job. It's just, and you get a sense of somebody that just can't function at all. But he's a smart guy. After reading it, after about half the book of the Madmen, it is a short book. You see, the Madmen, the first part is a short one. It's not very long, and I'm almost finished with it here. I'm about to hit the halfway mark, right? So you start to see that he's actually smart, and he is respected by other men around him. There's hardly zero, women characters in this book. It is like Fight Club, like that, just very much concerned with what it's concerned about, which is how does the modern man function in a completely effed up and careless society towards them. Society isn't set up in any way to give any opportunity or anything like that. And there's a big difference, with between uh, American society, you would say, right? But just like in just like in Chucky P's book, there's a disillusionment with doing what it is that the modern person is, supposed to do, right? Buying stuff and going out to eat and spending money on this or that and having a kid and doing that, and just like a complete disillusionment with that. And then therefore is the question, why? Why am I here? So it really is just an unbelievable experience. Um, I don't want anybody to think that I'm comparing it to Fight Club in any kind of way, because Fight Club is a piece of crap book, um, compared to this, and even by itself, not one of my favorites at all. The movie is a lot better. Hey, David Farley, happy Friday. Thanks for coming by. The movie is a lot better, and I compare it more to the movie. The movie is what, you know, I saw the movie 100 times before I read the book. So I had to get my hands on another one, and there is some cheap, editions of this out there, but you can't get the flamethrowers. So I can't wait to continue with it. Jack over at Rambling Raconteur has this edition, said that described it as a brilliant book by a brilliant author in his Argentinian writers video, an amazing video where he talks about all kinds of writers from Argentina. Cortázar, it holds a very high spot with Jack, especially with the short stories and the strength of that. So I love it. I can't wait to see where it goes, and then see where it continues to go with the flamethrowers, because that's where we get into some territory that most people have not come in contact with, right? So let's see if I can find a good spot for the flamethrowers. Just the spine here, right? That'll work. Just to stay over there in the corner there. Happy Friday, everybody. So yeah, the NYRB classics are just such beautiful additions, right? Another beautiful addition is the giveaway for this month. Let me just tell you guys and show you. The giveaway for this month for members on my channel is Gene Wolfe's Book of the New Sun. I'm giving away this exact copy. This is all 4 books of the Book of the New Sun. The Sword of the Autarch, or the Sword of the Torturer. No, sorry. Gene Wolfe does this to people, right? The Shadow of the Torturer, the Claw of the Conciliator, the Sword of the Lictor, and the Citadel of the Autarch. In a lot of his titles, even of his short stories, they play with each other. And Gene Wolfe is almost endlessly explorable, and you can tease out things time and time again. So I found this found it for really cheap, and I already have a copy, this same copy myself, but I had a brand new copy. So this one is used. You can see a little bit of damage to the book cover here up top. No big deal. And it'll be free. So if you want to, you join the channel here through the month of March, and at the end of March, I'm giving it away. And I'm just gonna do a drawing on the live here, the last Friday of the month. That's how it's going down. And I'll put out a little video for members as it comes up to it, and I'll be talking about it on the lives every Friday. So, hey, Alexa, happy Friday, brother. Alexa, my boy from Serbia, is in the house. Yeah, man. So, Alexa actually read this book with me last year, Gene Wolfe's Book of the New Sun. We read the entire series, and Christy was in there. I don't know if Christy finished it. And Tom L.A. Books and a number of other readers, strong readers. And it just locked down my mind for a couple months reading that. Gene Wolfe is really, really cool. I can't wait to read more. I think my next one is going to be Peace. You guys let me know what you might want to see. But I hear that Peace is not only heartbreaking, but it's many, many people's favorite novel that Gene Wolfe has ever written. Now, you see that routinely with different Gene Wolfe novels, that these standalone novels by Gene Wolfe, somebody very, very, with a very high level of reading, like Ursula K. Le Guin, said it about Fifth Head of Cerberus, I think, that this is my favorite Gene Wolfe novel. This is the best that Gene Wolfe has done. With Peace, I've seen 2 or 3 amazing praises for that. So, and Tom tried to read it. He says that it melted his brain. It's like a memoir, and I don't know why. I don't know why Gene Wolfe has to do this, right? Hey, SS, happy Friday. Unfortunately, I can't resubscribe. Money is rather short. Don't worry, SS. Don't worry, SS. If you want it, $5 to become a member for a month is like $5. So it's no big deal. If it's not in the cards, then that's all good too. No big deal, right? We're all here just to hang out and to love books, talk books, and look at some beautiful NYRB paperbacks. Hey, baby, Emily Clemens in the house. That's what I'm talking about. She is out there with the girls, having a Friday night, about to go driving. Fiona's working, of course. One of my girls, Fiona, she's always working. She's a real go-getter. So they're going to be taking care of business while I hang out with you guys. Thank you, baby. Yep, happy Friday. So, all right, I love this one right here. This is one that I've had before, but I kept it on top because I wanted to show the cover. You know, when NYRB does a photo for their cover, how about this? Is it maybe the best photo cover ever? I love it. And they're so good when they use art, right? Using an art piece as the cover. Most of these are that same idea with just a big art piece as the full cover. Henry Darger, right? I mean, who's using the Vivian Girls, as their cover? Only NYRB paperbacks, baby. And then there's some minimalist, they seem minimalist even if it's a cover like this, right? Because the art is able to be this full cover, and then you have just the plate, and the plate is consistent. The spines are consistent. It's really great how they've done. But this next one that I'm going to show, I've been wanting to pick up for a long time. What's up, Travis? Myers Metafictional Musings in the house. Happy Friday, brother. And thank you. Thank you. Hey, I try. This one here, I just started hearing about once I joined BookTube, right? So I've heard about it for a couple of years, but it got on my radar because of people talking about it and it being this kind of book that's suggested because it's really transcendental, prose-wise, and just brings you a unique reading experience. And I'm talking about The Peregrine by J.A. Baker. So it found its way on my radar, and so I just looked in used bookstores all the time for it. Whenever I go to a used bookstore or to a thrift store or whatever, right? Never see it. Ever. Never, never, never see it. That's a good sign. That's a good sign when you never see a book that's a single book like this, because that means that nobody's getting rid of this, right? I assume that if you're watching this and you're watching booktube content, that you've come in contact with this book, at least in passing. But nice, SS. It's a wonderful edition. It's a wonderful book to go through. I love The Discoverers. It just really, these kind of sweeping historical surveys with so much detail. They are all so slick. Andre Giddy's Guides Marshlands is a cool cover, as is Brian Moore's The Lonely Passion of Judith Hearn. They are cool covers. The Peregrine here, very minimalist. Maybe I'll say, just read a couple of the blurbs. A fusion of man and bird in a living drama that transcends any nature writing of our time. The book goes altogether outside the bird book into something less naive, into literature, into a kind of universal rapport. That's pretty good. And then Baker's writing is as cool as the pale sea around the coast, stripped as bare of superfluous adjectives as the ground he trudged on. The Peregrine flies off the pages, bathed in a light that never was. So, I mean, I can't wait. I saw an Instagram seller that had it for cheap, and I just jumped on it because it had been long enough that I had wanted to get my copy, right? Get a copy. It's a short book. Maybe it'll make its way on the to be read pretty quickly. For sure. Could happen. You never know. I might be dipping into that Seven Madmen right there too, because it is a different translation than the translation that I have, right? The NYRB Classics translation is different. So I'll finish the Seven Madmen tonight or tomorrow morning, and then I'm on to the Flamethrowers. I'm just going to keep going, right? So just to interject before I show some beautiful NYRBs, not that I don't have, the mountain here for you to continue perusing at your leisure, but my second read, I'm actually reading two books. The other book that I'm reading is a nonfiction, and this is the book that I'm reading with Una over at the Codex Cantina. If you guys have checked out any of my content this week, I know you did, SS, and others too, but I mentioned this. So we're reading the Buddhist philosophy of assimilation, and this is a historical, sociological, cultural exploration of Buddhism's assimilation into Japan and Japan's receptivity of Buddhism, right? Very, very interesting. I did put out a video just on this, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. Just wanted to show it because it is part of my, weekly reads, what I'm reading this week. Just to mention, and if you do want to know more about that, check out my video that I dropped maybe like 2 days ago, was just on the Buddhist philosophy of assimilation. The deal that I got. What's up, Jesse Reads and Meditates? You're just in time for the NYRB Classics. Look at this. Very rarely do I have a dais like this, with such beautiful books. And some of them are just like laid there, It's not even as beautiful as it could be. But we're going to get there even more. And I hope your reading is going well. And the meditation is going well too, right? So how I got the deal for the Seven Madmen there, I didn't, just pick up a book that I already own, even though it is a different translation and it'll be interesting to touch on it a little bit. I actually got another book other than The Peregrine that had been on my radar for a long time and championed by person after person. It's a very short one. This is The Invention of Morel by Adolfo Boy Casares. Seems like a very Twilight Zone, Borgesian trip. Just a trip of a book. Novella, right? Very, very short. So I think this edition is less than 100 pages even. 103. So that might be with some extra matter to it, right? There is a prologue by Borges in this one. So can't go wrong there. And I, have looked all over for it in any kind of edition. I don't care if it's NYRB or not. Just the same way with the Peregrine. If I can find it, then I'm going to grab it, right? Love the NYRBs. Yeah, me too. What beautiful simplicity. They do it. They really do it right. All right, I'm going to leave. Yep, we can see that. We can see that enough. So, Invention of Morel is there. If you don't know of Invention of Morel and you want to just get kind of turned on to it a little bit, Daniel Backer, Off the Wall Novels, put out a very cool exploration of that book along with other media that was influenced by it, namely The Shining. And then there was an older movie that he tied in directly from The Invention of Morel. I didn't remember it right because, see, that was kind of a spoiler, and I made sure that I didn't know about that movie because I think, the twist is kind of the same. The reveal of what is Twilight Zone and weird and that the characters are kind of dealing with. I think it has some fantastical element or maybe some sci-fi element kind of thing to it. But I keep that I keep it quiet. I like to go in cold. What are you doing here? Like this one here. I already showed this one. But I couldn't help myself, right? I was laying out the books, the NYRBs for this right here. And it's like, this is one of the most beautiful covers for any book that I've ever seen. I love how the pink plays off the porcelain, red and white, the dark negative space, and the just flowing, very round, flowing human edges to the sculpture with the plate here. Just really is. It's beautifully designed. Beautifully designed. So I wanted to show this one, right? I didn't pick it up too long ago. And I did just pick it up because Eileen Chang is one that I heard is amazing. And I do have another Eileen Chang that I had picked up at a used bookstore. It is, yeah, there it is. It is The Naked Earth. Katie Books said that he read that one and liked it, but would like to hear what I have to say about it. For sure. But Jack at Rambling Raconteur was showing this one a couple times last year in Marienbad. That's it. A liberal adaptation of the novella. That's right. That's right. Gore Vidal, thank you for saving me. But yes, that movie, I didn't want to, kind of give that movie any look because I don't want any spoiling. I don't want any spoilage, right? And y'all tell me, what's your favorite, I think that Love in a Fallen City might actually be my favorite. I'm not sure. I'm not willing to throw all my cards down, on that. But it's freaking close, man. It's just beautiful. So, I picked up another. This is the last of the NYRBs that I picked up. But, when they come along, they come along, and I don't go out looking for NYRB classics. Just when they come along, when they pop up, especially, see, I buy most NYRBs at the thrift stores and in used bookstores, sure, but you don't find them used in used bookstores. They'll stock them new in used bookstores. So it's just kind of a special thing when I find an NYRB classic, and I appreciate everyone who does give NYRB classics away because, I mean, I buy them right when I see them because it's just beautiful editions of books. So I picked up Havoc by Tom Christensen, and I didn't know anything about this book. But look at this cover. I mean, just awesome, huh? The artwork is Green Language by Azure Jam. Probably mispronouncing that. Right? But a beautiful image. A beautifully, maybe horrific image, right? And Havoc is one of the best novels to ever come out of Scandinavia. As discomforting as it is beautiful, it portrays the fall of a man and is so hypnotically written that you will want to fall with him. I love that, right? Ole Jastrow is the very model of an enterprising and ambitious young man of letters, poised on the brink of what is sure to be a distinguished career. He is a critic. There's the setup, right? In fact, he is teetering on the brink of an emotional and moral abyss. Bored with his beautiful wife and chafing at the burdens of fatherhood, disdainful of the commercialism and the political opportunism of the newspaper he works for, he feels more and more that his life lacks meaning, right? we've been there, done that, right? But here we go from a Scandinavian point of view, right? But somehow he doesn't have the makings of a true believer, even though he flirts with Catholicism and he flirts with communism. Then he takes up with the battle, a truly meaningful relationship. Slowly and quietly, he intends to go to the dogs. Jastrow's romance with self-destruction will take him through all the circles of hell. The princess will be anything but slow and quiet. Or the process will be anything but slow and quiet. Okay. So, and called the Ulysses. So a journey, Dante's journey through hell was invoked there, but the blurb there says a Ulysses as well as a Steppenwolf of Danish literature. So very interesting. Just when I saw it, grab it, and if NYRB Classics is putting it together, then you know that it's good, right? It's just worth reading. So many that I have seen are worth reading. And just stuff that I might not ever pick up, right? I'm most excited about that, and I would never have picked it up. Which one? Where is it? I'm gonna find it. Oh yeah, An African in Greenland here. And this comes so highly praised. But I found it just in the used bookstore. It was an NYRB classic, so I picked it up, right? And I'm like, man, I would never go for this. But it is a journey narrative as well. Nonfiction, but autobiographical fiction. Or I don't want to say fiction because it's nonfiction. But also, I have kind of a I preferred princess. There you go, Paulie. I have a problem with nonfiction, right? Because, it's all stories that we've told ourselves as humanity. And I think that history, the stories of history, though they may be classified as nonfiction, may be just as much fiction as a completely made up story. And mythology, what we classify as mythology, may be just as true as any happening that happened to you yesterday, right? Something like that. Um, so the kind of that's why I don't get into talking nonfiction and fiction books too much. It really kind of irks me. But this is one man's account, an African's account, where he found a book about Greenland. He found a book in Africa where he's at. Let's see where he was at. In Togo. I don't know where Togo is, but he found a book about Greenland and was inspired and just had this drive in him to travel and to go there. And might be the first African to set foot in Greenland. Probably, was many of these Greenland, indigenous, people, and the first time they saw an African person or something. Why? And look at him. Here we go. Here's the author photo, right? I'd be, the man's cold. I mean, but it's so interesting. And then I got it, showed it on, a Friday or something. And then on BookTube, I think it was Sean, the book maniac, was talking about how it's one of his favorite NYRB classics of all time is this book. It's just such a great author's voice, and you owe it to yourself to read it, all that kind of thing. And so you really can't go wrong. You guys tell me what you think. What a freaking night, huh? I love them. Yeah, so very, very interested in reading this one. And NYRB Classics published all of John Williams' novels. We have Butcher's Crossing, Augustus, and then I have Nothing But the Night and Stoner right there. I have Augustus in another edition. I do have Butcher's Crossing, I think. Maybe I was putting it off. Maybe I don't have Butcher's Crossing. I mean, if I did, it would be on my shelf, I'm sure, with the NYRB Classics. But just thinking, why choose to go get it if I'm not going to read it right yet, especially since I have Augustus to read. What read John Williams doing some historical fiction, please. I will do it. All of John Williams' novels are very different from each other. He only wrote 4 novels, and they're all different from each other. I can't wait to experience what a very beautiful and calm writer. Those are some of what I parted with. Clayton! Stop, man. Don't even talk about it, man. Come on, man. My dogs are barking. Destiny's in there barking. I don't know if you can hear. This mic does a pretty good job with not picking up the background stuff and all that, right? So it's all good. We'll just let her chill. And I think the girls are busting out. And that's okay. But we have like a new translation of Dante's Inferno from NYRB Classics. Things like that. It's so wide, and translated works, you just have to go. Should have given me Butcher's Crossing. Yeah, you should have. No, I mean, maybe a book trade. Let's do a book exchange, bro. That's what I want to do. If anybody out there is interested in book exchanging, I'm all about that action. I think it's so fun. And there's always books that I can manage to part with, right? I have a lot of books. And I love acquiring new stuff. And there's a fun way for us to, just for the cost of a shipping cost, which is maybe, $10 for a box, a small box. Maybe you could fit 3 of these or 4 of these in a box, or one big hardcover or something. Maybe $10 for shipping. Both, each pay like $10 for shipping each your own package, and then both get new books, right? It's so fun. I've done awesome book exchanges before. Not done one in a while, so I'll open it up to you guys. So yep, thinking about getting back into writing some. I want to get. I've just kind of settled my mind on just getting back into my novel. So maybe coming up, I've had some interest on the channel for writing sprints, and talking about writing. Some writers coming up and just kind of writing for themselves and saying, "Hey, I'd love to talk writing, and if you're going to do some writing sprints, I'm interested in that." So that might be coming up on the channel, just one, evening, just spontaneously jump on, do a live 15 minutes talking, do some writing sprints, and I'll get into revising my short story, or not into revising my novel, because I have a first draft of a novel that's completed. I love it. I'm really, really happy with it, but it needs to be filled out. It is just the first draft there, and it is a lot of plot. It's mostly plot, and the characters. I love the characters. They need to be, expounded upon, and everything just kind of made fuller and done, more. So I want to get into it. If I just make time for it, I can sit down with it and start the revision just off the cuff. So y'all tell me if you're interested in that. That'll be just some supplemental material that's coming out. Also was thinking about getting back in doing a couple of beautiful books on the channel. When I was showing my big books this week, turns out a lot of them were art books, and really got me in the mood to look at some beautiful books. And I've been doing that. And there's a couple that I've pulled out that I haven't shown and would be perfect for the beautiful books playlist. So y'all let me know. We'll put this one out here. The giveaway. We'll show all of it, and we'll get done with this one for the night, guys. Thank you for crushing about 45 minutes with me. Happy Friday. Love hanging out with you guys and girls. And how many NYRBs do you own? What's your favorite cover? Let me know. Feel free to, if you're content creators, share them up. Put them on your Instagram. Tag me. Tag me in your NYRB love. I love it. Completely. So very cool, y'all. My pleasure to share. Y'all have a good one. Thank you. Bye-bye.